Hello again, everybody. It's GirlGotGame, and welcome back to Psychedelica, the Ashen Hawk. This time, we're switching allegiances. We're leaving our wolf boys behind and going over to the Hawk clan, which means it's Lugus' turn, which I'm very excited about, because he's been most distracting thus far. And I feel like we're going to get a lot of new stuff with him, as well as just old stuff that we haven't seen in a while, so it's gonna feel newer as well. I don't know. In my mind, I feel like Lugus has more content, more story around him than the Wolf Boys have had, but I could be misremembering, but we'll see as we go through this. Anyway, I'm starting in Chapter 1 when he has his introduction. He's not technically a very good guy in this moment. He's just doing his job. But anyway, we saw some of this when we did Levi's route, but I thought we should restart from when we first see Lugus, go through that. So that's what we're gonna do.
Please wait! I'll pay my taxes later, I swear! If you take that from me now, I'll starve!
No. The deadline's already passed.
Please, I beg of you!
Damn you! Don't touch Master Lugus!
Ah!
Excuse me, Master Lugus. Are you hurt? It's not a problem. Next time, you deal with these issues yourselves.
Yes, sir! A circle was forming around the source of the commotion. Their voices cut through the crowd easily. I could hear what was going on even from the outside. These kinds of things occurred on a daily basis. The son of the hawk.
Such a ruthless heir. No mercy as usual.
The Hawk clan. The familiar name was being whispered by the people around me. The clan of the wolf and the clan of the hawk. These two forces controlled the town.
So, Lugus is here.
Seems like it. At the center of the commotion was Lugus. He was the son and heir to the Hawk clan. The wolves would never handle things like this. I glanced over at Levon next to me. He was glaring at Lugus as we waited to see how the situation unfolded. Levon was the heir to the clan of the wolf. He was around the same age as Lugus, but their personalities were completely opposite to each other. The clan of the wolf sought harmony with the townspeople, whilst the clan of the hawk ruled with an iron fist. And in turn, each of the heirs seemed to embody the ruling methods of their respective clans.
The manner of his excessive force will only build up resentment among his people.
What do you want to do?
There's no point in exacerbating the matter. He's pulling out, so I'll just wait here and see.
Then, what about the man?
I'll speak with him later. I'm sure I can introduce him to some work in town.
I felt bad about leaving the man alone, but Levon was right. It was a calm and collected decision by the heir to the wolf clan.
Do you think that's cold of me?
Huh? No, I don't think so. My voice came through unsteadily, knowing that he saw right through me.
Well then, let's get out of here for now. It'll be a pain if he finds out I'm here.
I nodded and went to follow him out of the area. But just before we left...
The Hawk Lord's own son, a common bully? Seems like your clan has a lot of free time on its wings.
I heard another familiar voice while we were trying to lay low. Say, isn't that...
Yeah, it's Levi. That idiot!
I was praying that I only misheard, but it seems it wasn't meant to be. I couldn't see him from where I was, but it was Levon's little brother. The other son of the Wolf Lord descended upon the crowd. The crowd cheered as he approached. It seemed most of the crowd belonged to the wolf side, or perhaps they were excited that someone arrived to help the victim. What do you want to do? I asked the same question again.
I'm stopping him. Hey, let me through!
Levon pushed through the crowd and I followed after him. Alright, siding with the other boy this time. Sorry, Levi!
If it isn't one of the wolf cubs, what do you want?
I'm asking you if it's fun bullying the townspeople.
I'm only collecting taxes, as is my right. You should blame the citizen who couldn't fulfill his duty.
There's a better way to do this!
Paying heed to every single person's circumstances is harmful to the whole. Does your tiny little head not even understand that?
What?
We couldn't get through the crowd as easily as I thought. With what I was hearing, the situation didn't have much time to spare. Lugus may be calm, but Levi was about to explode in a fit of rage.
Get off your high horse. I've always hated that about you.
Your short-sightedness, too, never changes. I can tell you haven't grown much since you were a little child.
Oh? Then you want to see if I've really grown up?
Immediately relying on your sword just proves your immaturity. The weakest dog barks loudest, as they say.
Damn you!
But if you intend to draw your sword, I'll respond in kind.
Gah! I finally managed to stick my head out of the crowd. This was bad. Both of their hands were reaching for their hilts. At this rate...
That's enough! Both of you, release your swords!
Levon had gotten through the crowd first and was now standing before the two.
Levon!
You're here too. Engaging in a personal duel in public. You had better give more consideration to your position. I am only collecting what is due to me, and it was your brother who tried to draw first. True enough. Hey, Levi.
What? Are you trying to say it's my fault?
Just be quiet and fall back.
I arrived a few minutes after Levon. By the time I got through the crowd, the situation had cooled down. Hold on a moment. Then it would only be proper for you to bow your head in apology before you go. Or so it was until she showed up. My future sister-in-law. A stray dog like you shouldn't go unpunished for such disrespect. Despite her cute appearance, she was known for having a sharp tongue. It was Lugus's younger sister, T.
Ugh, she's here too?
T, stand back.
I won't. Stray dogs like these must be disciplined. It is the only way to be sure he doesn't bite you anymore, brother.
Seriously, will you shut up? You're just a noisy little chick that follows after your brother.
Who are you calling a chick? I am a Falk from the Proud Hawk clan. The girl stood tall and glared. The way she spoke and acted was akin to that of a queen. Being that she's the daughter of a lord, it's not too far off.
Lugus, have her stand down. I thought you were the ones to retreat. Do you mean to provoke something now? T has a point. If you two bow, then this commotion shall end well. We have no reason to yield that far.
The calm atmosphere was starting to stir again. Lugus of the Hawks and Levon of the Wolves. It seemed that neither of them intended to back down. Is a sword fight going to break out?
The other youngsters will join in and start killing each other.
The holes in the shop from the last fight haven't even been fixed yet.
The people around us all looked worried, as it seemed likely that a scuffle would occur. Levi aside, if the heirs Levon and Lugus fought each other, it would become a huge problem. Everyone looked scared. Despite how common fights were in this town, they were still afraid of what would happen. That's right. No one wants to get hurt or be killed. All of you, just calm down. I spoke up without thinking. My tone was more disgusted than angered. I walked toward the four who were causing the commotion.
Jed?
And who are you? A commoner isn't allowed to tell us what to do. I'm telling you this because I am a commoner. I could tell that everyone's eyes were fixed upon me. I hated standing out like this, but it would be worse to leave things as they were. Have you no shame? Your families exist to protect this town. Why would you cause everyone to worry? They refused to look at me and continued glaring at each other. The tension was palpable, and I could feel myself break into a cold sweat. After what seemed to be an eternity of silence,
You may be right.
it was Levon who spoke first. He let go of his sword and stood back to his full height.
And what about you? Don't tell me you're going to attack a defenseless man in front of this huge crowd.
Lugus kept the same expression on his face as he let go of his sword. Phew. It all turned out all right. I breathed an internal sigh of relief. I could hear the hushed murmurs of the crowd relaxing.
Aren't you...
Huh? I can tell he's looking at me as if wanting to say something. But Lugus and I weren't acquainted with each other. Yes, what is with the aren't you? Aren't I what? If he decided to antagonize me, it would negatively affect my work prospects in the future. I quickly looked down and tried to move away.
Are you done with this asinine squabble?
It was a mumbling sort of voice, and yet everyone in the entire area froze. Naturally, we all turned to look at the source. It's Dad in more ways than one. A middle-aged man dressed in black stood with his attendants. His glare was as sharp as a hawk's. The Black Shadow. I was wondering why I associated Black Shadow with Olgar. So why... I'm so curious. Why is Olgar called the Black Shadow, and why is the serial killer also called Black Shadow? Do we just not have enough names in this town, or...? No. Olgar's looking a little bit embarrassed in the background there. Just a wee bit. Father?
Father!
Everyone in this town knew him and feared him. He was Olgar, Lord of the Hawk Clan. The heirs who had been arguing, and even the crowd surrounding us, all fell silent. Our voices were being suppressed by Olgar's presence alone.
Haku, you called me here for this trifling matter.
I beg your pardon, Master. It seems I have overstepped my bounds.
No matter. You there. Yes, boy.
He was obviously looking at me. I'd better respond. Yes? I finally pushed the air out of my lungs to utter that sound.
What is your name?
Jed. Good talk. He neither nodded nor responded in another way. Olgar simply turned around and began to walk away.
T. Let's go.
Yes. Olgar glanced at me once before leaving, while Lugus and T ran after him. In the following moments, the crowd gradually dispersed. Alright, I think that is going to do it. Our girl collapses after our first run-in with our new boy. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead probably to the map section and then bring you guys back in when that happens. Okay, we made it to our first map, and Lugus is in the North Alley, so let's go there. Second run-in, let's go. The back alley was where I chased him yesterday, him being Elric. They always return to the scene of the crime. This place would be the most likely area I'd find him. But then again, the place he actually stole from was the market.
Don't move.
Huh? I heard a voice behind me. From the way he spoke, I sensed his intent to kill. He didn't even need to tell me to not move. I couldn't, even if I wanted to.
You're the one from yesterday. Jed.
The next remark he made was just as cold, but the murderous intent seemed to be gone. I cautiously turned around to look. Lugus?
I knew the criminal would return to the crime scene, but who knew it would be you?
I was thinking the same thing, but I had no idea what he was talking about. What are you talking about?
The serial killer.
Serial killer? Lugus motioned with his chin toward the shadows of the alley. Huh? Were those bloodstains? I was so desperate chasing Elric yesterday that I didn't notice. Did I just not see it? Or did it happen last night? There was a grotesque splattering of blood all around. The stone walls were flushed with a dark color that couldn't even be called red. I started to smell the blood hanging in the air, and it was making me sick. It was, a murder mystery. Anyway, lots of them. It's all the doing of the Black Shadow. A man was found lying on the ground, stabbed in the chest. That's scary. I agree. All of those workers being attacked. Was it the Black Shadow? Lugus didn't answer my mumblings and went over to check the bloodstains. Did a murder happen here too? That's a terrible way to die. No wonder people keep talking about the rumors.
Rumors?
Lugus stood up quickly and took a step toward me. His voice was filled with anger.
Speak. What did you hear?
He was much taller than I was and looked down at me with glaring eyes. I couldn't help but be taken aback. Lugus placed his hand over the sword on his belt.
Or are you the culprit?
Hold on! I don't know what happened. I just heard that someone was killed. I tried to defend myself, or rather, I was just stating facts. Lugus locked his gaze on me, as if trying to see into my soul. His silence made me feel uncomfortable. This boy is, way too quick on the sword. He's just like, I kill you where you stand, or you answer my questions. After a while, he removed his hand from his sword and walked back to where the bloodstains were. What's going on? Is there something bothering you? I didn't know what it was, but since he had already accused me of the crime, I should be able to ask at least that much. Lugus sighed, turning back around, his brow furrowed.
There are people who are unsatisfied with the Hawk clan. Rumor is that they are murdering those who are a part of us.
Huh?
The rumor must have started from that tax collection the other day. This is foolish. It is required of me to crush these rumors before they reach the Hawk Lord. Especially so if it sullies father's name.
This is for his father. Is that why he was so mad?
If you aren't the culprit, then leave. I'll arrest you the next time I see you.
Promises, promises. Wait! Why are you doing this, Lugus? I was unwilling to back off. It would keep bothering me if I didn't ask.
This was used in the crime.
Lugus took something out of his pocket. This is... How many of those knives are there, just out of curiosity? It was a knife. The handle bore a motif of a hawk feather. The blade looked clean, except for a bloodstain that had not been removed. Is this what the Black Shadow was using?
It could very well be possible that the culprit is trying to frame the Hawk clan.
Which is why that knife was used.
It could also be a ruse to divert attention away from the clan too. In any case, everyone is a suspect in my eyes.
He wrapped the knife in a piece of cloth and stuffed it back in his pocket.
Now stay out of my way.
Fine. Oh, Lugus.
What is it now?
Thanks for telling me. See you later. Lugus didn't respond to that. He might have been mad at me for interfering. It would be best if I went elsewhere before he really got upset. I mean, we had a tentatively alright conversation. Progress has been made. And now it's time for me to make some progress and bring you guys in probably at the next map, I'm imagining. So I'll see you there. Okay, we have made it to chapter 2 in our first map. According to my little cheat sheet over here, there are 2 stories associated with Lugus, but the one is actually just a flashback sequence in the tower with Ashen Hawk. It's literally Jed, talking to Ashen Hawk about the murder rumors and remembering her conversation with Lugus, which we just did, and it doesn't really add much to Lugus's story, I don't think. So I'm going to skip that one, but I am going to do my little interview question with Lugus and then the other short story episode. So what's your favorite food, my boy?
Why do you ask? There's nothing worth mentioning. But I'm not fond of sweets.
I didn't ask what you didn't like, sir. But fine, I'll take it. Okay, and family relations. Okay, this is probably going to be mainly just the first part of this, if I'm remembering this episode correctly. Because I think Lugus, leaves partway through, a third of the way through. There was someone standing still in the deathly silent alleyway. Is that Lugus? What's he doing here? As I looked on, it seemed like he was comparing whatever was in his notebook with the houses and streets. Lugus had the eyes of a hawk, and he was looking for something without bringing any of the hawk's attendants with him. I recognized that look from before. It was from when he was investigating the murders. I had come across Lugus during one of those instances. He also glared at me back then with a palpable murderous intent. I wonder if something happened again. Thinking that it could be a murder made me uneasy. I prayed that the murderer would be caught soon. I don't want Lugus to mistake me as the perpetrator again. There was no need to call out to him, so I quietly went back toward the square. But before I could move away, I heard Lugus's sharp voice echo in the alley.
Stop!
Ugh! He found me! I gave up on escaping and looked at Lugus. He slowly walked over to me. Did you want something?
I told you before that I would capture you the next time I saw you. What were you doing here?
What? Do I have to answer that?
Of course. As long as you live in this town, you do.
He said that in such a high-handed manner, so I had to respond in kind. I think there's a better way for you to ask.
Then let me ask you again. What were you doing here? Answer me at once.
He might be in a bad mood, or maybe he just didn't like me. Either way, he didn't have to be so mean about it. Though irritated at the situation, I proceeded to explain. If you're still on the hunt for the murderer, I don't want to be falsely accused, so I was trying to move away.
You're an honest one.
There's no point in lying.
Then let me ask you something else.
Are you interrogating me? He ignored my question. He never listened to me.
Tell me everything you know about the Lady of the Wolf Clan, Francisca, and her sons.
I didn't think I was going to be surprised at whatever question he had for me, but this caught me off guard. Huh? What?
Tell me everything you know. You grew up in that manor, did you not? I know you were as close to the sons as family.
That's true. But did you snoop around on us? For what purpose?
I'm the one asking the questions. Tell me everything the wolves do on a regular basis. It'll do you no good to keep secrets from me.
I started to become angered. Why did I have to be asked this? He was making it seem like they were the culprits. I don't mind telling you what I know, but stop talking as if you've already assumed they're the culprits. And this isn't about me, but more about them.
I don't care what you think of it. Tell me what the Lady of the Wolves and her sons were doing on the night of the murder. Answer me. If there's something you want to know, then ask them yourself.
Levon!
The wolf heir.
I was overjoyed at my rescue, but only for a brief moment. The situation was really bad.
If you want to visit Mother, I can welcome you as a formal guest. There is nothing for us to hide. And it's the same about your questioning about me. If you wish to know, then ask me directly. Don't do it in the alleyway like this. Do it in a formal setting, and we'll have the truth be known. It appears that the son of the wolf is fixated on formalities. That's only because the hawk lives in a lawless society. We have our own way of doing things. I simply move according to what I think is top priority. If you consider yourself a leader, you'll need to learn how to let others know what you think.
This is scary. Sparks were flying. I was angry just a moment ago, but I would never be able to have an exchange like this. While I was thinking that, Lugus declared something as he and Levon stood facing each other.
Then I'll tell you this. With regards to the Black Shadow, the Lady of the Wolves is no exception. Unless you want to see more corpses piled up, stay inside your manor at night. What's that supposed to mean?
Before Levon could continue, Lugus had walked away. The last thing he said felt so ominous.
Jed, sorry you had to go through this. I'm sure he asked you a lot of questions.
Huh? I don't mind that at all. It's not your fault, Levon.
Right. I'm glad I just happened to be in the area.
Were you going somewhere?
I was on my way home after looking at some swords, but... I wonder. Why did Lugus confront me like that?
I couldn't make sense of what Lugus was driving at, but the root of why he acted that way was probably because... I don't know everything, but it seems that Lugus is investigating the Black Shadow.
The Black Shadow?
It's the rumor going around town. Haven't you heard? There's been a string of murders, and that's what they call the culprit.
I know there are recent murder cases, but that's the first time I've heard the name Black Shadow.
I think the incidents and the rumors are being taken care of by the Hawks, mostly. I see Lugus investigating it by himself a lot. Levon looked slightly dissatisfied at my explanation.
If that's the case, everyone should be properly informed on it, rather than relying on uncertain rumors.
I don't know about that, but the murderer supposedly uses a knife with a hawk feather motif.
A hawk. So that's why he's reluctant about making it better known.
I don't know, but...
There are people who are unsatisfied with the Hawk clan. Rumor is that they are murdering those who are a part of us. It is required of me to crush these rumors before they reach the Hawk Lord, especially so if it sullies Father's name.
I didn't know if the culprit was a hawk or a wolf, only that everyone was a potential suspect. That's what he said then. Lugus was very seriously investigating the rumors to solve the case. I think he needs to be better at asking questions, though.
What do you think he meant by staying inside the manor?
Maybe he meant to stay indoors and lock the doors and windows because it's dangerous outside? My floundering words made Levon laugh.
I don't know what happened, but you're oddly kind to Lugus.
That wasn't my intention. It just seems to me that he is working hard to make sure Olgar's name isn't sullied. I understand if it's about taking care of your family.
I see. So, it's for his father.
Levon looked to the ground while seemingly in thought. He then smiled once more. I was going to cut this episode short, but I think I'm just going to play the whole thing through. Otherwise it just feels strange, and there has been more Lugus involved in the short episode than I actually remembered, so bleh.
I'm envious that he has a father he can love that way.
Huh?
I'll try to investigate things from my end. There might also be a need to increase patrols. I'm glad you told me about this.
Yeah. Good luck with your work.
Yeah. See you later.
He was probably going back on patrol. Levon quickly left the alleyway. After seeing Levon off, I couldn't shake off this feeling. Envious of Lugus and Olgar. I thought Levon hated them. Previously, I assumed anyone among the wolves thought that way, but Levon said he envied them. Speaking of which, Levon's and Levi's father is...
I see. I figured something was up.
I suddenly heard a voice from behind and frantically spun around. You scared me! Were you listening in?
Yeah, all of it. Man, that Lugus guy is annoying. I was so close to slashing him from behind.
Levi?
I'm kidding! But he was up against Levon, so I knew it'd be alright.
Say, Levi, are you envious of Lugus and Olgar?
Huh? Oh, is this about that thing from earlier? I don't know about that. I don't really understand what fathers really do.
I don't know. I repeated that line in my head. Levi seemed to say it so plainly.
He died when I was a kid, so I don't remember much. I don't have a desire to see him either.
You don't want to?
It seems like Levon and Mother had a tough time because of him. After seeing that, I can't say I want to meet him. You probably shouldn't talk about this in front of Mother. It'll get awkward like it did last time.
I see. Levi gently placed his hand on my head.
That topic wouldn't come up if you live your life as usual. You don't need to worry about it at all.
Really?
I need to get going soon. I might get yelled at for skipping out again.
Well, aren't you skipping out?
It's just a break, I swear. See you later.
Levi ran in the direction Levon walked off to. The Black Shadow, the confrontation between Lugus and Levon's and Levi's late father. There were too many things to think about. But it was also a fact that thinking about them wouldn't solve a thing. This wasn't something I could insinuate myself into. But, yeah, a father. There was nothing wrong with thinking about a father whom you've never met. I wondered what mine was like. Would he be the kind of person that commanded respect in the way that Lugus respected Olgar? Or would he be the kind that was to be avoided, like Levon's and Levi's father? How would he smile? What would he like? If we were to live together, what would our lives be like? How would he say good morning when we woke up? How would he say good night? What would happen if I had a bad dream? How would he comfort me then? I pictured many things in my fantasy and slowly closed my eyes, then slowly opened them. Not even a mirage of my father was there.